is Offense Mukai. I'm the WAP for the DA caucus in Soplaki. And right next to me is our leader, Christopher Piri, the caucus leader. And next to him is the caucus chair, Ms. Elise Miman. And then we're also joined by our councillors. From the furthest right, we have Councillor Okifori, who's a councillor in Ward 25. We also have Councillor Mari Bielefeld, who's one of our peer councillors as well as Soplaki. And then next to her, we have Councillor Carol Pierce. She's one of our ward councillors in Ward 21. 20. And then we've got Councillor Mariam Low. She's also one of our peer councillors for Soplaki, responsible for Ward 6. And then right next to me, I've got Councillor Clifford Lewis. He's the ward councillor for Ward 3 in Homestead. And then next to him is Councillor Philip Foster, also one of our ward councillors in the suburbs here in town. And then what we do right now, we have a councillor coming. What we do right now, I'll just hand over to our leader to take us through what is the purpose of our conference and then the details of what is contained in this press conference. You will just see now we are joined by two of our colleagues. There are also two councillors, Councillor Shefa Sahi for Ward 2 in Rurban, and Councillor Christine Jaffa, who's one of our peer councillors, also here in Khalishiwe. So without wasting any time, I think, and the lady obviously we know her, Shirley Duvat. She's one of our researchers here in the legislature, and she's the one who coordinates all this media work that we do. Without wasting any time, I will hand over to our caucus leader, who is Councillor Chris Piri, and he will take us through the purpose of our day and the details of this press conference. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you very much, our Chief Whip, one and only one, Councillor Mukai. Thank you very much, the members of the media who have turned up, and those who will also be discussing telephonically as well as a written submission of the statement. Ours today is very clear. We have an appointment of a municipal manager, which we say her appointment must be rescinded as the DA in the Soplaki municipality. And we want to put it as follows, that the Democratic Alliance has today renewed our call on MEC of Koksta Bentley Farms for the urgent rescindment of the appointment of acting Soplaki manager, Ms. Nomande Chabase Kisiamang. The DA refuses to recognize Chabase Kisiamang's appointment. We not only believe that Chabase Kisiamang is the wrong person to head up the Northern Cape's capital city, but also that her appointment is fundamentally very flawed. Hence, anything authorized by Chabase Kisiamang in a capacity as acting municipal manager is also invalid. There are two issues that we want to cite here as our good reasoning to this. And this is the basis of our opinion. Firstly, Chabase Kisiamang, in her capacity as Director of Strategic Economic Development and Planning, was on the verge of being placed under precautionary suspension pending the finalization of an investigation against her, before her shock rise to power as the acting MM on the 25th of June this year. In fact, a document detailing the recommendation for a precautionary suspension on the basis that there is a reasonable cause to believe that an act of misconduct had been committed by her had already been prepared for councillors for their consideration. The document suggests that Kisiamang was responsible for the municipality for 13, at least 110 million rands, for not, if not more, for the Khalishiwe stormwater upgrade project in Western Cape. It is believed that Kisiamang refused to hand over the project, ultimately resulting in serious spending. I must state it here as well as an input that I went personally to visit an area of Khalishiwe called Kakeng as well as Mchware in the recent floods, where we have seen how high the water rose in the houses of residents. And yet we've got a director who refuses or who prevents or who allows a project not to go to completion and ultimately forfeiting 110 million. We cannot have such a director. The document includes, which I've referred to, a submission by Kisiamang in which she does not deny misconduct, but rather indicates that in order to prevent the repetition of future misconduct, she has already sent a letter to the National Treasury recusing herself and her directorate from running the Galeshewe stormwater upgrade project, so that they do not engage with her on this matter, but rather with the MM. Ironically, she is today the MM. So you can see this is a flow of what she has started, or what her cronies has started for her to make sure that that file that covers the stormwater project in Galeshewe never leaves her hands. And there are eyebrows. There are many questions to be asked still in terms of that. The document which is in the possession of the DA has failed to see the light of day. Since her appointment, we have not heard about the stormwater upgrade in Galeshewe. We have not seen that document of appointment in the public. The report was shelved under the mat in an about turn that saw Chabashe Kisiamang irregularly promoted to the position of acting municipal manager before being presented to council for consideration. In light of above, the DA does not consider Chabashe Kisiamang to be a suitable candidate for the position of acting MM. She has not only shown that she is incapable of managing the municipality's funds, but for reasons known to her, she has suspiciously ensured a situation whereby she will remain in control of the Galeshewe stormwater project. In this regard, the second point that we want to bring to light is, in this regard, the DA also considers the chaotic council meeting of date during which Chabashe Kisiamang was appointed to have been orchestrated. We have no doubt that the utter disorder that prevented the opposition from participating in the proceedings was planned in a blatant bid to prevent us from raising objections to our appointment. In actual fact, we recall on note that we never heard the speaker calling for any second nomination of any other candidate that could be considered. Chabashe Kisiamang's name was also never formally proposed in the council meeting, nor did it appear on an agenda or order paper. There is also no record of the attendance register, which suddenly just did not see the light. So how did they come to the count? Because according to the minutes, they've got a count of hands that voted. Well, how did they qualify that? I must put it on record that one of our own councillors, who's also seated here, was not even in that meeting, but when you tally the count, she's included there. The DA has previously written to MEC FAS, and we will renew our call to him to deal with Chabashe Kisiamang's appointment in an open and transparent manner. If we fail to get a satisfactory response from him in due course, we will escalate this matter to the national minister and even the president if needs be. In the meantime, to ensure that the questionable circumstances regarding Chabashe Kisiamang's appointment are not simply ignored, we are also placing the document recommending for her precautionary suspension in the public domain, as we refuse to tacitly condone the highly irregular goings within Solplaatje municipality. We will further also be writing to the Speaker to request that the said document is discussed in Council as a matter of urgency. Just a little bit of background, this document was available in the meeting, but was never circulated to councillors to consider enforcing their suspension. So we ask ourselves, why would administration, having prepared the document, why suddenly was there a chaotic environment that prevented that document to get its rounds? On top of above, the DA will further be requesting the recordings of the council meeting and all related documents to continue making our case that the unrest that ensued at the meeting was pre-planned to secure the appointment of Chabashe Kisiamang. The DA will not sit idle while the Solplaatje fit dome continues to swell and grow. Solplaatje is on the brink of anarchy and order. Order must be restored before this municipality collapses completely. I must say, by virtue of what has transpired in these meetings, it's very clear. We sit with an ANC that does all that it has to do to make sure that this municipality does not function properly. In that, continuously when issues such as this nature has to be brought to the table, there's suddenly political disturbances that occur. So we are very sure of ourselves in the light that the ANC is not serious about creating a stable municipality in Solplaatje. Henceforth, they are promoting certain individuals who they know will be able to advance and take their course further. There was no reason for us to doubt the previous acting MM, except that what we have come together was that they had to deal with him because of he decided boldly to deal with Kisiamang, not being able to hand over the file to the next department. So by degree of insubordination that she has pleaded, we suddenly see her as the new acting MM, as a degree of continuation. I want to leave it for now there. If there are any questions, I'm willing then to take some questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leader. I don't know from our colleagues, is there anything that you want to add from what the leader has just said? Maybe some background knowledge that you might want to bring to light or assist in terms of the reporting.
No, I think it was very complete and clear. That's exactly what's happened.
Nothing to add.
And I don't know from your side, do you have any questions that?
All right, in as far as the question concerning the letter from the Hawks is concerned, we obviously, as politicians and as professional people as well, gathered the information to say there can never be a situation whereby the Hawks instructs an institution of government what to do. We must remember the Hawks is also just there to investigate crimes. But in the letter that it stated that the reappointment of Ms. Mahluku must be instituted immediately, we already saw that to be a flawed statement because the Hawks does not have prerogative over such matters of labor. You must remember the act that the CFO is an employee of Solplaatje and her contract is subject to council. So it's only council that can then uphold and say return or not return. So already from the virtue of that, we could see that that letter of the Hawks did not survive its credibility. Further to the letter of the Hawks was the null and void of the Section 106 report. It is clear the Section 106 report is a legal document which has a prerogative by the MEC. And the Hawks is in no place, neither can they become a court even tomorrow. They are not in a position to put aside any report of that nature because they do not have a power to judge, they have power to investigate. So from the basis of that, we could see that there was a flawed document that was circulating, rather more corrupt as well as very criminal of its nature. In actual fact, we feel that the Hawks in the Northern Cape is very silent, and especially as far as issues of Solplaatje are concerned. We have seen the Hawks going in and out of our building, but nothing comes to surface. So this also shows, because in the document there's a stamp. How do people get access to an official stamp? It's clear there is a collaboration between whatever is transparent in Solplaatje municipality together with the Hawks. And we want to put the national minister or the director general there to task to say, come to the Northern Cape and come and assist us to sort out the Hawks. Because if the Hawks is not sorted out, not just Solplaatje, but many other municipalities in this province will suffer as such. Her reappointment, as alleged in that letter, is not possible, not now, not until the 106 report has been discussed by council and resolutions has been taken and the correct procedures has been followed. So as far as I'm seeing it as well now, maybe this is a deliberate attempt from her side to try to create some chaos, to try to create some confusion in the market. But unfortunately, our residents are very clever. They've read through, they could see that there's no way that that letter was going to be a legal letter. Thank you.
Thank you very much.